Good morning, viewers. This garden is dedicated to gardeners who enjoy having a beautiful garden without spending too much time to maintain it. Therefore, I have selected hardy perennials that blooms in late April and early May, such as iris plants. Right now, you are watching an area where I have planted some miniature roses. I like miniature roses because they are very hardy and they bloom beautifully all summer. I added around this area, I have 4 miniature roses in this area, and I have 4 begonias to be with them, and in the middle, the centerpiece, I have planted what you call coneflowers, and this is a plant with white flowers. It will bloom soon. As you can see, it's budding already and it will bloom maybe in a week or so. This is another area in my garden where I stored many echinacea or coneflowers. I love coneflowers because they are very hardy and they bloom also all summer. I have mostly purple colors. Last year I bought some red ones and some deep purple. As you can see, I have more miniature roses here. And over there you can see I have the dianthus, the red dianthus. And the dianthus is also a perennial. It blooms all summer as well. And if you deadhead them, they will be excellent to have in your garden. They bloom a lot more when you deadhead them. And you can even collect their seeds to propagate more plants. And here I have azalea. Azalea is a shrubs. It blooms in early spring. And this one has already bloomed, so it's a bit too late because we are in June, and azalea blooms in early spring. I have more dianthus here. As you can see, beautiful color. And I have more miniature roses here. Another miniature rose here. And over here, I have in the pot what you call alpine aster. Alpine aster. And it's excellent as a perennial as well. Very hardy. I only planted hardy perennials. More aster, more dianthus here. And over here I have hosta. Very beautiful for the garden. It complements the other plants. More dianthus. More dianthus. I have here a rose bush which is pretty old, but I had planted at my old house. But when I sold my house, I brought it over here, and it's doing very well. I must say, I love to buy products from President's Choice. It seems to work very well for me. They are doing very well in my garden. Most of my perennials are all President's Choice items. I love them. And here I have annuals, begonias. I plant my annuals this way. I don't like to plant them in the ground. I like to plant them this way because I feel that they look much more beautiful when they are on a stand. You see, I have here They're sitting like this on a stand, and that way they have a little bit of height and they can showcase their beauty a lot nicer. And here I have another President's Choice rose plant. And here I have an annual. And this annual is excellent for the garden as well as the begonia. It's called Cali Bradshaw. You see? It's so nice to have in the garden. I don't like to clutter my flower pots. I like to put just one plant like this one in the flower pot because I love to watch them grow in their pot. Love it. More hostas around here. And here I have another pot of annuals. And this one is impatient. And the impatient is great when you plant them in sunny shade. This one I only pay $1.50 for 4 plants. And I love to watch them grow. I enjoy watching my plants grow. Here I have Estella de Oro. It's a yellow daylilies, and it's so nice to have in the garden. Look at how beautiful they look. They look so nice together with the other hostas. Over there I have another azalea, and it's growing much better than the other ones. Over here I have cornflowers, but it is this kind of cornflowers. It is this color of cornflowers. It's not a very tall plant, and it's so pretty to have in the garden. More hostas right over here. Another azalea, which is not doing very well this year, but hopefully it's going to do much better next year. And over here I have more Estella de Oro. It's going to bloom soon. And over here I have irises, which bloom in early spring. It's a mauve color. It's very, very pretty. As you can see, I planted this marvelous and superb annuals. It's called Dipladenia. Every gardener should plant this in their garden because I tell you, it's a winter plant. It loves full sun, part shade, or even shade, I think. And it blooms profusely in the summer. I like to plant just one in the pot because by mid-July, this plant is going to be huge. And it's going to be the showcase of my garden. I have my little statue here, figurines. I have more begonias over here in the pot, a white one and a red one. Oh, these two are so cute. Look at how lovely they are. It exhibits love. Over here I have a small Rosa Sharon. Rosa Sharon is beautiful to have in the garden. It blooms in mid-July, early August, and it blooms for about a month. This one is it is mauve. I have daylilies over here, which will bloom soon, and a bigger Rosa Sharon over here, much bigger. Look at, it's so nice. Look at how healthy they look. You see? And this plant is very, very strong. It's not gonna fall over, it's gonna stand straight in your garden. It's very majestic. More purple cone flowers over here. More daylily. More miniature roses. I don't have too many varieties of perennials in my garden, but I surely am addicted to miniature roses because they are so hardy, very strong, beautiful and strong. And over here I have oriental poppies. This one is not doing very well, I guess because it's not the right location for it. So I will probably have to move it next spring. More coneflowers over here. And I have one lonely rhododendron in my garden. This one is 2 years old. Actually 1 year old. 1 year old rhododendron right here. This garden is only a year old. I started last year in May, and I had to work very, very hard to develop it. I had to remove a lot of grass, and I had to figure out what am I going to plant in this garden that has no tree. It has a lot of sun, 80% of sunlight per day, a day. So I have to figure out something that will be suitable for this area. More miniature roses, and this one is orange color. You see, it's very, very pretty. And this one, it blooms about 3 weeks ago. My iris, giant ones, lovely irises. Look at, isn't that beautiful? And I have more irises over here, but they have bloomed already, unfortunately. So I guess I'm gonna capture them next year for you. You will have images of them next year, when they're in full bloom. So I have over here, of course, more dianthus. And I have over here a shrub. It's called Virgilla. Virgilla is a beautiful shrub. After it blooms, of course the blooms are gorgeous, magnificent. And after the blooms, the leaves are so beautiful. They're so dainty, they're so attractive. You want to look at it all the time. Over there I have more Rosa Sharon right here. It's a much more mature plant, which I had brought from my old house over here. I must say the Rosa Sharon are very, very easy to transplant in the springtime. I only transplant them in springtime. That's why I said springtime. I don't know if they're doing also as well in the fall. I have no idea. But definitely in springtime, you gotta go for it. If you want to relocate them, do it in springtime. And I have another plant over here, which is an evergreen one. It's good to have, a little bit of evergreen plants around your flowery plants, because too many flowers is a little bit tiresome to look at. You need a little bit of green to contrast it. And these are my daylilies. They're gonna bloom soon. These are the red daylily. The daylilies. I have this color here. You see, it's over here. This color. And I have red ones. two red ones. I have this one. You see, President's Choice product again. They are excellent product to me. They are excellent to have in the garden. I only buy President's Choice product. More miniature roses here. Miniature rose here. More dianthus here. Oh, the dianthus, by the way, I bought them last year at Canadian Tires. It seems like Canadian Tires carry the most dianthus plants. I always depend on Canadian Tires to have these plants because it seems like they are only available at Canadian Tire. And here I have the hybrid rose Olympiad. It's beautiful. This guy is very, very hardy. Oh, it got all beat up when I dug it up and put it in a pot and put it in the ground. It really, really works. It's very, very resilient and I love it. Repetition of the same plants, but I promise you, if you plant this thing, you're not going to be disappointed because you only select the best. I only select the best perennials for my garden. First of all, because of the size. Since it's not a very big garden, I cannot afford to plant everything. I have to be very selective. And here I have Gloria Daisy Rubeckia. You see? It's gonna bloom soon. And this is the plant. Everything is everything is a year old, maybe older if I brought them from my garden. More roses Sharon over here. And another Vigila over here. This one is a darker pink. Look. Very nice pink. It's gonna grow to be pretty big. I have more daylilies here. Oh, I have this one is a puppy, oriental puppy. It's a orange color, a peach color, I must say. It's gonna bloom soon. I have the same plant, but because this plant was neglected for a while, that's why it's not doing very well right now. More dianthus. More dianthus. And I have a cherry tomato in this pot. I like to plant them in the pot because I can move them wherever I want to. If they're not doing very well in one location, I can move them to another location. And I have to make sure I remove the suckers because I want my plant to be strong. This plant is from last year. It's purple coneflower. You see how big it looks compared to the other one because it's mature. And over here I have more daylilies. I have this kind. It's a very, very nice color. And I have this kind. which is great. They are my joy and pride. I have a shrub here called dogwood. It's very gorgeous. I can hardly wait for a couple of years more. My garden is going to be mature enough and it's going to be much more beautiful. Right now it's I can call it a baby. I have a little tiny lupin here, pink color. And down here, you see here, I have cosmos. I didn't plant this. I bought several plants last year and they reseed themselves. So I don't have to buy any new ones this year. So for those who want to save money, you should buy cosmos and plant it in them in your garden, so that next year you will have new plants in your garden. And they are very, very beautiful and dainty plants. Another hanging basket right here. A lonely one, but pretty soon it's gonna get fat. It's gonna be very pretty, big and pretty. This is my other iris plants. I only have a few left in blooms because it's already has been blooming for 4 weeks already, maybe 5, I don't know. And over here, more. I hope you're not tired of my dianthus. They're beautiful. I can look at them all the time. Right here. You see this one? This one. It's called meadow sage. See? Meadow sage. It's very, very good plant to have in the garden. If you're a lazy gardener, plant many of them. You'll see. They're gonna be beautiful. They bloom for a long time in the summer. I don't think they bloom all summer, but I'm sure almost. I have another one over here, a smaller one. As I said, my garden is only a year old. And because of the location, it's doing very, very well. You can see here, this is my oriental poppy, the peach color. I just show you one that is not in full bloom, but this one is in full bloom. And it's got other blooms right here. You see down here? So I'm gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them coming. And this one here, it's opening a little bit. Oh, you must have this in your garden. I recommend it to every gardener. It's so magnificent. It's so elegant, so beautiful, so tall, so attractive. More of the same flowers. Except for this one. This is my fall phlox. It's red in color. I will take pictures of them when they're in full bloom. More of the dianthus. And this one here is coreopsis. It's gonna bloom soon. As you can see, it's budding right now. It's so easy to plant. Oh, perennials are adorable. They're so nice to have and so beautiful to watch. More cornflowers, echinacea, right here. More of them. Another coreopsis here. More hostas. Another hosta. Another phlox. Another dianthus in the pot. I put this one in the pot because it's of its beauty. And in the fall, I can always find a home for it in my garden. This one here, more echinacea. This one is a rose Sharon. The sun is out now, so the garden must look a little bit more brighter, a little brighter. This is my iris, yellow in yellow color. This more iris. And this one is my annual, as I told you. This one is something that you must have in your garden. I guarantee you it's going to make you very, very happy and very proud of it. This one is my rose plant, which I had bought from my former house. It's very, very hardy. It's gonna bloom soon. It's light pink. I will have a video of it when it's in full bloom. Over here, this is my oldest rose Sharon. It's in white color. It's gonna bloom in August. I make sure I will have the video to show you its beauty. Over here I have my middle garden over here. I have phlox, autumn phlox right here. I just bought this iris a few weeks ago. And I planted over here because it's a very sunny location. I have more rose Sharon. This one is mauve. It's a mauve color. I only have one lonely sweet William here. See, I can collect the seeds for next year. I don't like to plant a lot of sweet Williams because according to my past experience, they attract a lot of bugs, earwigs. I just don't like them at all. So that's why I only have one plant. This one here is Animus. This is an evergreen and it grows to be pretty big. Let me see how tall it's gonna be. 36 feet tall. So that's pretty tall. Not too tall and not too short. Over here, I have my Japanese maple. This is my first Japanese maple in my time in Canada. I love Japanese maple. I was able to buy this one because it was not very expensive. So I'm able to plant it and watch it grow. Because the full grown plant, it's very, very expensive. I cannot afford that. I have this one here. It's another Ryanthus, which I'm gonna plant right over here sometimes this week. Another annuals in the pot. Another healthier tomato plant in the pot, cherry tomato in the pot. And this is my rose bush. When I first bought it, it was amazing. But I don't know, maybe this is not the right location for it. So, you see, this is what they call the David Austin English rose. So hopefully it's gonna do well for me. I just have to give it more love and take better care of it and make sure I protect it better in the winter time. Over here I have this one. It's a perennial, red elf thickseed. It's like a type of coreopsis, but it's in this color instead of yellow. It's gonna bloom in a couple of weeks. It's gonna look magnificent. This is my another type of lily that I have. I don't plant a lot of this lily in my garden because I'm not very successful with it. And this is another azalea which I bought this year, few weeks ago. Hopefully it's gonna be doing very well for me now.